lately, the different types of weather. And there we go. Bam, we are recording. We are live. We are live on Facebook, and it is Monday morning, Monday Mindset. That is what's going on. Good morning, everyone. I am Carroll-Sue, aka Naughty Boss, Lady Kiana, along with
TwoSistas, and good morning, everyone. My name is Janis, aka Wellness Diva 3.0, and it's Mindset Monday. And of course, that darn bird is chirping. So annoying. I am so sorry.
I wouldn't be sorry. You know what? It's kind of nature in the background. I love it.
Nature in the background. And the funny thing is, he chirps at all different odd times. And yesterday evening during dinner, it was pretty bird. And I'm like, ugly bird.
Well, it's those little things that happen that, kind of make our podcast very authentic. I am actually in a park right now. Jan is in her home office, and we travel. We're on the road no matter what our day is like. And that's what I love about Two Sisters, is that we can be flexible with our schedules. And we have the opportunity, which you've already seen, we've had some amazing guests that have really added to the value of what we're sharing about, which is health and wellness. And the one common denominator with every guest speaker that we've had thus far is mindset. Mindset, mind over matter, how it transcends to how our day is going to be. So if we're starting off with a day that's worrisome, troublesome, sorrowful, like you just kind of feel out of sorts, to retrain your mindset, kind of go through that whole process of just getting yourself in a more, I would just say, a slower pace, a more smooth and peaceful pace. And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, you see that it pivots your entire day, and you look at the glass. Some say half full, some say half empty, but you look at it with a different perspective, that I can get this done, I can do it. And I just have to kind of refocus where the energy is going. And it's so paramount, don't you think, Jan, that when you find yourself kind of going down that rabbit hole of not feeling so well, or not feeling so good, or not feeling happy, that, you know what, let me put a little music on. Let me pause of what I'm doing and go do something that I absolutely love doing. And it totally changes your mindset.
That is so true. And it really is all about perspective. And I think a lot of times when people think, okay, I'm going to work on my mindset, that's excellent. And that's something that should be trying on. But I think a lot of people, and I've seen a little bit of this, want to turbocharge it. And quite honestly, it really needs to come naturally. So I'm just going to share a couple of tips. I don't know if, and I'm just going to slant this a little bit. For instance, I guess it would be to the left of mommy's picture over my left shoulder, you see almost like two decks of cards. Those are my Gabby Bernstein cards. And I love to pick a card and it always resonates in some form or fashion. And it can be something as simple, and that's very simple for me, and I like simplicity. It could be, you look for Monday morning inspiration quotes. You can Google them and you email them to yourself. I've done that a few times. And what I will do, and sometimes I forget that I even do this, is when I send the email, I'll schedule the send. So maybe like this afternoon, I'll send myself an email and I'll forget about
that idea. I absolutely love that idea about sending yourself an email, like, you got this and don't worry, and those kinds of things. I would have never thought of that. It's such an excellent tip, Jan.
And I don't want to say that it's spooky, it's not, but it's just like, because you forget that you sent it and you're like, what is this? And it kind of gives you the chills, because it's a really good reminder. It's doing the simple things that really mean something to you. It could be something as simple as, obviously we're on video all the time. There's all these different video programs. You could even, for instance, record yourself a little note an email to you or text it, whatever it may be. But it's just a great reminder not to think of mindset as to turbocharge it or have it or force it in a way that's unnatural to you. You'll know what is right for you, and excuse me, it could be something as simple too as your journaling or writing out your thoughts or your feelings. It doesn't have to be in a fancy type of journal. It could be just something as easy as a notebook. For instance, I pick up these little composition books, when I see them on sale, usually on clearance or what have you. It could be something as simple as that. It could be something as simple as a sticker. And this is what I think is a great idea. You have your own sticker board. And again, it's a way to remind you that you are worthy of that mindset. Don't force it. It will come naturally. Oh, and sidebar, this has a lot to do with what we're chatting about, but Stress Awareness Month is actually coming up. The month of April is dedicated to stress awareness. And what better way to start than by easing into a healthy mindset?
Absolutely. And mindset is a habit. And when you retrain your thought process to pat yourself on the back, another key tip would be, which I love all the ones that you gave, would put a tiny, tiny mirror on wherever you're working in your workspace. And from, occasionally throughout the time that you're working or sitting there doing journaling or paying bills or whatever you're doing, look at your reflection and remind yourself, have a conversation with yourself, like, I love you. You are worth it. Together, we're going to get through this. And it's really that reaffirmation, because when you have that self-love and that self-nurturing, that self kind of pick-me-up attitude and putting, actually saying the words out loud has so much, I think, so much more impact. And it really accompanies the whole exercise of actually writing down, thinking about it, pad to paper, and writing down your different affirmations or things that are going to put you in a more healthy mindset. Because when your mind is healthy with feel good feelings and compliments to yourself, it's okay. It does not mean that you're being selfish. It does not mean that you're being, I would think the word conceited, some people might say that, but it's not. It's about posturing yourself and setting yourself up for success so that your day is a smoother transition from things that you're going. I apologize. We've got a construction working going by in this little, I don't even know what it is, but it's pretty noisy. But anywho, when you do those things for yourself, you just naturally get that natural good feeling, which that transcends into the person that you're going to either have a comment with, a communication with, a telephone call with, a text with, and you really find that you're just in a more peaceful state of mind. And it's so, so helpful. And it's catchy, because when you're like that and you're like that with someone else, guess what? They feel good too. And then they're going to pass it on. And it's a domino effect. So I think there's something to say about always having a healthy mindset to start your day off in a positive way, and also paying it forward, showing kindness to other people that might be struggling, that might be having a hard time with mindset. Making sure that you take the time to give somebody a compliment, a smile. How are you? Really checking in with those, especially with Stress Awareness Month coming up. And really, we were talking about 2020, and guess what? We are now entering almost the end of the first quarter. We're getting into that first quarter of 2021. And where is your mindset then? Are you still kind of stuck on 2020? Are you stuck in, what isn't, rather than what can be and what you're working towards? And that starts with the healthy mindset.
Absolutely. And the other way too, a lot of people refer to that as morning mantras, for instance. Do you have a morning mantra? Morning mantra can be something as simple as, all is well. I have a big, actually, I'm going to take it down. It's on one of those huge sticker things, and my morning mantras. And I look at that every morning, and that's a great reminder to say, hey, there it is in black and white. Again, I am more of a visual person, and that's why, occasionally I love to send myself an email. The other thing, I think I've said this before, sometimes I wake up with phrases and I don't know what they mean, but then I came over to my desk this morning after I worked out, and I looked at another thing that was on my desk, and it says shift happens. And I'm like, oh, okay, got it. So that was the name of the first book that I did. That was the name of my chapter on how shift happens and how to make that happen. So it just kind of, again, reinforced that positive mindset that it is going to be a great day. It's all perception. It's not forced, it's perception. So do you have a catchphrase, or do you have a morning mantra that you'd like to share with us, Carroll-Sue?
I do. It's get up and do it. Now, get up and do it can be, I've got to get up and do, my housework. I've got to get to that thing that I've been talking about and getting organized and I haven't done, or exercise, or get my errands done. Look at my calendar. What do I got going? Get it going, get it done, go do it. Those are just little catchphrases that reminds me that I can do it. And I'm sure most people can relate to our listeners and viewers. You can have that mindset that I can do it and go out and do it. And guess what? It doesn't happen. Maybe it didn't transform or get to that point that you wanted to. But again, it's another opportunity for you to say, I went for it. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be completed. The fact is that I didn't put it on the back burner. I didn't put it on my to-do list and not get to it. So get to it, get going, move it. All those things are pushing you in what? Forward motion. If we're always taking steps forward, eventually we'll complete that task, or eventually we'll get that goal done. Or it may be something that it's a long-term goal that you have to put in the energy, the mindset every single day. You got to get the good. And it's just a matter of retraining your brain. But don't beat yourself up if you have a crappy day. Sometimes with mindset, you just get stuck and you can't get out of it. And when you feel like you're going down that rabbit hole, that's when you need to pause it, because you do have to be aware of how your mind is feeling. Your mind controls everything. So we talk about mind over matter, but if you get kind of in that dark rabbit hole, that's when you have to say, you know what, I need to call somebody. I need to seek either listening to a podcast or listening to some music, or reach out to a friend or a family member and saying, hey, I'm not having a good day. I'm really stuck. I'm feeling this way. I'm doing all the things that I know that should help me get my mindset on track, but it's not. Sometimes it just takes chatting with somebody. And then all of a sudden you realize, and probably one of the other things I do when I get, because I have those days. I mean, everybody, you're not being honest if you don't say you have these shitty days sometimes. But when I go to that place, I think my first thought is, as bad as I'm feeling right now, somebody else is feeling worse.
That is so true.
And that way I know, okay, my day's not going the way I had set forth to do or what I was going to accomplish. But I always have to remember that as bad as I'm feeling at that moment, somebody else is even going through something harder. And that kind of puts a check, like almost like a checklist in my head to say, it's okay if today didn't go as planned, because it doesn't. There's no perfect, even with the right tools, with the right mindset, reaching out to people, listening to music, blah, 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 blah. No matter what it is, some days you just embrace and validate, you know what, today wasn't a good day, but that's okay. Tomorrow I'm going to pick up where I left off.
Exactly. And, one of the things that I worked on yesterday, which really put me me in a very good mindset mood. Like, how is your mindset mood? You know, we always talk about pen to paper, but I also wanted to update my electronic calendar. And I really wasn't sure about, you know, I knew I wanted colors because colors are very significant for me. So, you know, I spent probably more time than I should have, but I got it done and I was so excited that I did that. And I was like, I'm like ready for the week. You know, I wrote down my lists and, you know, everything's color coded. And who doesn't have a jar full of highlighters?
Oh, and they're so pretty. You got some really pretty ones in there.
Yeah.
And we've got exciting news because we've got 2 amazing guest speakers this week.
We do. Lisa Domino White tomorrow. And then on Thursday, which is the 25th, we have Pollyanna Lara. So this afternoon, we have our post going out about Lisa on our Facebook page. So check that out. It's going to be amazing. The other thing that I wanted to share with you, and I thought we haven't done this segment in a while, is nothing to do about nothing. So,
oh Lordy, I can't wait to hear this one.
No, this one is kind of cutesy, and you know, it made me think. So I set my timer for 5 minutes because, you know, when you wake up in the morning, after you wake up, you know, and I get dressed to do my workout, we all love scrolling, let's face it. But I set my timer for 5 minutes. So I did my 5 minutes scrolling. And I came across, I don't know what the name of it is, and I'd have to go look at it again, but the traveling appraisers, you know, they're at different trade shows and whatnot. So this lady had a 1959 Barbie doll. So and I have quite the collection of Barbie dolls, not from 1959. So of course I was interested in it, and I was so excited how the appraiser was talking about this specific Barbie doll and the different things to look for. And what was unique to this Barbie doll was the eyebrows, that they were more of a slanted and upright, and the eyes, the white of the eyes, that Barbie doll was always looking. It was a side view. The Barbie doll wasn't looking head on. It was a side view. And also she came with a stand. So there would be 2 holes in her feet to obviously keep her on the stand. This thing is worth about $4,000.
Lordy.
So
$4,000. What year did this thing come out? This Barbie doll?
1959. So
wow.
Our viewers out there, if you have Barbie dolls, check your stuff.
Yes, absolutely. I've never seen that particular Barbie doll. And it's funny now that our granddaughter Reagan is really into dolls and Barbies. It's kind of fun to see the different accessories now and how like real life they look like and their outfits. And it's one of those kind of fun things for kids to do and play with, and imagination also adds to your mindset, even as a child. So that's awesome. Well, that's pretty exciting. We've got a great, exciting week coming up. We hope everyone is staying warm, and do yourself a favor today. Sit down and write down 3 things that come to mind that inspire you to get your mindset right. It could be reading, it could be listening to music, it could be helping somebody and volunteering and doing good works, good deeds, and paying kindness forward. So pick 3 things today. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to get them all done. If you get them all done, kudos, that's great. But 3 things that really will help you flip the mindset switch on in a healthier fashion. And we would love to hear your thoughts on that. And with that, this is Carroll-Sue, AKA Naughty Boss, Lady Canna, live from a beautiful blue sky with a few puffy clouds, Vero Beach. I hope that you are staying nice and warm, because I know New England is dealing with some snow, but you have a great Monday mindset.
TwoSistas. Hey, and my name is Janis, AKA Wellness Diva 3.0. Send yourself an afternoon Monday quote, and you'll surprise yourself. Perk yourself up. Have a great day, everyone, and we will see you tomorrow. And we'll be on a little later tomorrow. We'll be on at 11 a.m. with Lisa White. So check it out. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.